Today we're diving into one of the most quietly impressive SUVs on the market, the 2026 Volvo XC60. It's a name you've probably heard before, maybe even considered, especially if you're looking for a premium mid-size SUV that balances style, safety, and comfort. But the question is, does the new XC60 still stand out in a crowd filled with luxury heavyweights like the BMW X3, Audi Q5, and Lexus NX? Volvo has always played by its own rules. Rather than trying to outmuscle the Germans or flood the dashboard with tech, it focuses on what matters: design that feels timeless, materials that feel warm, and safety features that actually make a difference. And for 2026, they've given the XC60 a refresh. Not a full overhaul, but enough to keep things interesting. Let's start with what you see first, the exterior. The 2026 XC60 carries the kind of design language that ages really well. Nothing feels overdone. At the front, you'll notice Volvo's signature Thor's Hammer daytime running lights. Sleek, modern, and still just as striking as when they were first introduced. The grille has been given a light update, with a more refined finish and a slightly wider stance, helping it look even more confident on the road. The bumper's been resculpted for a stronger visual impact, and subtle touches like slimmer fog lights and aerodynamic lines down the hood give the front end a little more sharpness without being aggressive. Moving to the side profile, the XC60 is still one of the most balanced shapes in the segment. There's a simplicity in the lines that really works. Clean shoulders, tasteful chrome accents, and roofline that slopes ever so gently to give it a bit of dynamism without sacrificing rear headroom. Standard wheels are 19 inches, but higher trims offer new 20 and 21-inch designs that really complement the SUV's elegant stance. And if you go for one of the sportier trims, like the R design, you get darker exterior accents and a more athletic overall vibe. Around back, Volvo's done a bit of work to modernize the taillights with a sharper LED pattern and a lower bumper design that makes the rear feel wider and more planted. There's also a hidden exhaust setup on most trims, which fits with Volvo's clean, minimalist aesthetic. The whole package feels premium, composed, and best of all, it doesn't try too hard. But where the XC60 really begins to shine is on the inside. Open the door and you're met with what feels like a Scandinavian living room on wheels. Volvo's interiors have always been about calm and clarity, and the 2026 version just takes that to the next level. You've got high-quality materials everywhere, soft-touch panels, real wood or metal inlays depending on the trim, and one of the most comfortable sets of seats you'll find in any SUV, period. Speaking of the seats, they're supportive, well-bolstered, and designed to reduce fatigue on long drives. Whether you're in the city or doing hours on the highway, they just keep you feeling fresh. In higher trims, they're upholstered in Nappa leather and offer heating, ventilation, and even massage functions. Rear passengers aren't left out either. There's generous legroom, especially for a midsize SUV, and enough headroom even for taller adults. The panoramic sunroof, standard on most trims, adds to the airy, open feel inside. As for tech, Volvo has continued its partnership with Google, so you get a 9-inch vertically oriented touchscreen powered by Google's Android Automotive OS. That means built-in Google Maps, Assistant, and access to the Play Store, plus over-the-air updates to keep things fresh. It's intuitive, fast, and honestly one of the better infotainment systems in the luxury space. There's also a crisp 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster that's customizable, and HUD-up display available on higher trims. And then there's the sound system. The base audio setup is solid, but if you spring for the Harman Kardon system, or even better, the optional Bowers & Wilkins premium setup, you're in for an immersive listening experience that's more like a concert hall than a car cabin. Storage-wise, the XC60 does pretty well. The center console is deep and practical, the door bins are large, and you've got a good 63 cubic feet of cargo space with the rear seats folded. Even with all seats up, there's enough room for a family weekend getaway or a solid grocery run. Now let's talk about how this thing drives. The 2026 XC60 offers a few different powertrain options. The base model starts with a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine producing around 250 horsepower, which is more than adequate for daily commuting and highway cruising. If you want more punch, there's the B6 mild hybrid version with roughly 295 horsepower, delivering a smoother and more responsive experience. And then there's the Recharge plug-in hybrid, which combines the turbo engine with an electric motor for up to 455 horsepower and around 35 to 40 miles of electric-only range. Driving the XC60 is a serene experience. It doesn't beg to be pushed hard into corners like a BMW, but that's not really the point. Steering is light and precise, the suspension is tuned for comfort but holds its own on twisty roads, and cabin insulation is top tier. Road and wind noise are kept impressively low. The Recharge model in particular offers a silent and torquey electric experience for daily errands with the flexibility of gas for long-distance trips. Fuel economy depends on the model. The base turbo gets around 23 mpg city and 29 highway. The mild hybrid improves slightly thanks to its regenerative braking system. The plug-in hybrid Recharge version, when driven thoughtfully, can deliver over 70 mpge combined when using both electric and gas power, perfect if you're mostly driving short city distances and can plug in regularly. Safety, as you'd expect from Volvo, is front and center. The XC60 comes loaded with standard driver assistance features. You get automatic emergency braking, lane keeping assist, blind spot monitoring, rear cross-traffic alert, and Volvo's Pilot Assist, a semi-autonomous driving mode that works best on highways. Add to that adaptive cruise control, traffic sign recognition, and a 360-degree camera system, and you've got one of the most complete safety suites in the segment. The XC60 continues to earn top safety ratings, including a 5-star overall crash score from the NHTSA and a top safety pick plus from the IIHS. Now, let's get into pricing. The 2026 Volvo XC60 starts at around $47,000 for the base B5 core trim. Step up to the Plus trim and you're looking at about $52,000, while the Ultimate trim pushes into the high 50s. The sportier R design and the luxurious inscription packages are still available in select markets and tend to hover around that same $55,000 to $60,000 depending on options. If you want the Recharge plug-in hybrid, you'll need to budget around $60,000 to start, with fully loaded models creeping up towards $70,000. So what are the pros and cons? Let's start with the good. First, the XC60 has one of the most stylish and timeless designs in this segment. It doesn't scream for attention, but it absolutely earns second glances. The interior is a masterclass in calm, comfortable luxury, nothing feels cheap, and everything is laid out with purpose. The tech is intuitive and modern, especially with Google integration. Safety, top of the class, no question. And the ride comfort, especially in daily driving, is one of the best in its class. But no car is perfect. The touchscreen, while visually clean, can be a bit distracting to use on the move, especially since many climate and seat controls are now software-based. Some rivals offer more engaging driving dynamics, especially if you prioritize sporty handling. And the price, it's definitely in premium territory. You're paying for quality, but if you're not planning to take advantage of the plug-in hybrid system or the luxury materials, there might be more cost-effective options out there. So, is the 2026 Volvo XC60 still one of the best family SUVs on the market? Honestly, yeah, it is. It's not trying to be everything to everyone. It's not the fastest or the flashiest, but what it does exceptionally well. It's a car for people who value comfort, safety, thoughtful design, and tech that actually helps, not overwhelms. If that sounds like you, the XC60 should absolutely be on your test drive list. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this review, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe for more honest, in-depth car reviews just like this one. Got questions about the XC60 or want us to compare it with something else? Drop it in the comments. We read every one. See you in the next video.